Hello and welcome to another All Nation Line video. My name is John Wubble. I'm going to do a series of videos, and this is the first introductory video. And the topic we will be covering is engineering an O-scale mechanism from scratch. We'll walk through and show some of the bench footage, CAD screen captures, and the mechanisms close up. But I know that I want to develop some structure to this particular series, and so in this introductory video we're going to talk about 5 segments. Segment number 1 is going to be framing the problem, and under each of these segments will be underlying assumptions that you will want to consider, and they may be applicable to almost any scratch building project you want to do. The reason for doing this video, of course, is sometimes we have locomotives or light rail vehicles, traction models that are great shelf models, but they're not powered to run on our layout. So a big component of this is making the power units, the transmissions, the gears, and that may not be as glamorous as the model itself, because a lot of times you don't even see that inside the model. But having an operational model sure does enhance the model itself and the features and detail that it has. Segment number 2. We're going to talk about what the mechanism is, and I have developed a lot of custom mechanisms for different models, for other modelers, but many times just for my own inventory of equipment. And they're custom because there's not anything on the market that's really drop-in ready a lot of times, so you do have to kind of start from scratch. And when we do this, if it's good enough and it tests out well, we'll put it out for sale for other modelers to take advantage of. The next segment, segment 3, we'll talk a little bit about geometry. And this has to do mainly with how the mechanism is going to fit in the internal space of your model. And there's quite a bit to talk about in this area, assumptions and a lot of measuring. So this may pique your interest, because a lot of times these mechanisms have to be able to float inside the space and be able to turn on radius curves without, you know, they have to have the adequate clearance. So geometry is a very interesting aspect in scratch building. Segment 4, we're going to talk about materials and electrical. Now, materials will include everything from mixed media, whether some of the components are 3D printed or some of them are brass, bearings, gears, universals, that sort of thing. And we'll probably also have some emphasis on the fact that sometimes doing something from scratch requires a lot of iteration. In other words, building a little prototype, making sure it fits, making sure the function of the component is supposed to do what you intend it to do. So again, this is a rather fun and interesting aspect of scratch building. Segment number 5, we'll talk a little bit about performance, and this has more to do, I think, with motors and gear ratios. So we'll cover that, and then finally we'll have a conclusion and comments. And I would hope that as we proceed through these various videos, and as we release them, you'll feel free to put your comments and give us some feedback on what you think. And I hope this has piqued your interest, and we'll see you in the very first segment 1 video.